Hi guys, it's Andy, the Expedition Hiker, and we're out on our Christmas wild camp. Now, as you can see, we're in Haversage, well that's where we're starting at. We're going to go up to White Edge. Now I am hoping White Edge might mean there's some snow, but at the moment we've got a lot of fog, as you can see over there. So first of all, we need to get up onto the hilltop, and then from there I shall tell you more. So let's get going. Well, it looks a little similar to weather to when I was up in North Yorkshire last year. Damp and foggy. Let's hope we get some snow at some point. It's Christmas time. Right guys, as you can see, our location is not looking like a bit of a wild camp on top of a hill. We had a bit of a problem. I went to collect my tent and found out they hadn't repaired it. So rather than sleeping on top of hills without a tent, I had to resort to a hotel room for tonight. And then what we're going to do is go for a long walk tomorrow. So not really my annual Christmas wild camp. Well, last year was a bailout. This year we've got life of luxury, so to speak. Although, problem being is I'm dressed in my thermals and everything, ready to go up a hill, and not to be staying in a 4-star hotel. But needs must. Yeah, not the wild camp we were planning for. Hopefully, from what I gather, the place is going to fix my tent tomorrow, but this one has been a bit of a washout really. But nevertheless, tomorrow we've got some great walking to do. We're going up to Big Moor, and there's actually it's a famous area for around 200 red deer. There's also an area that's actually been left over hundreds of years. It was a Bronze Age settlement. Recently, excavations have found several stone circles. As well as that, recently when I was reading up about it, it seems there's a big wild cat, black cat, wandering this moorland. Now I'm not sure if you'll see that, and I'm not sure how much that is true, because it seems to be everywhere in the UK and probably beyond there's wild cats being sighted. We'll go on that walk tomorrow. So with that, I'll see you in the morning. Well, it ended up being the wild camp that never was. The building behind us is where we stayed last night, the Main Art Hotel in Grindleford. But we are going to go out on a long walk today, and hopefully going to see some deer, possibly even a black cat, and other things along the way. Let's get walking, and we're going to head up towards White Edge and Big Moor. Well, it hasn't started out too well really. Just checked the weather forecast. It was expected to rain about noon, but it's raining already, which isn't a great start. It's going to be a wet day. I was going to White Edge expecting whiteness, and instead we haven't. We've got wet drizzle. I say this one's been a bit different, totally different so far, so hopefully the walk is going to make it worthwhile. As this moorland and wetlands has been left to nature for hundreds of years. Relics of the past have only just been discovered. There was actually a fire over the COVID period that caught a lot of the heather on the Big Moor, and due to that they exposed ancient Bronze Age relics, including several stone circles, a few cairns, some long barrows. Well, it's a barren landscape. In the past it's been used for mining and stone quarrying. Obviously being winter means that it's going to be dark quite fast. I know I'm doing some walking in at night. How much we do, we'll find out as we walk the route. Well, let's just say it's not the winter weather that I was thinking of. A bit misty. We've got sheet rain as well. I believe it's going to get worse in about an hour, so that's going to be interesting. if anybody knows, this is the famous Grouse Inn, just below Froggett's Edge. So that only means that Froggett's Edge must be up there somewhere. Let's keep going. Now which way? No, steps have ran out. It looks rather muddy this bit here. Right, let's try this way. I think that was the best route. I haven't fallen over. Let's keep going. I love the landscape when it's like this, old silver birch trees, winter. It just looks like an ancient forest. But last night we didn't stay on the top because we didn't have a tent. Hoping to collect that today, this afternoon from Haverside. They did say they were going to repair it because of obviously they said it was repaired, and I turned up and it wasn't. So they say they're doing an urgency one, but they've had my tent for 9 weeks, so it's not that urgent. But just looking here, maybe I could have stayed here. It looks like someone's made a little bit of a home. I think I could have slept in that. Well, it's a bit small for me. That is not a bad setup there. Someone's spent some time. And I was up here a few weeks ago and I didn't see this at all. So it's only been put up in the last few weeks. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. Oh, just looking on that tree. I think it's a tree creeper going on that tree. Try and zoom in, but hopefully it's going to pick it up. Hopefully you can see it. There's another one further up, but I'm going to keep on this one. So if we go left, we're going the bridle way, and right is White Edge. And if we come around this way, it says Grouse Inn, the famous Grouse Inn. So we're heading for White Edge, so we're heading up this way. Now, last week it was freezing temperatures, -5, -6, I believe, around here. This week it's a lot warmer. And although it's not the wild camp that I planned on, it's now become a day walk. Looking to be a nice day. The weather isn't as bad as I thought it was. It is raining, but not as heavy as I thought. Well, fortunately I've got 2 cameras now. I've got my phone, which is great, but now I've got a new camera, which is up on my shoulder at the minute in a polythene bag. Now it is this all singing and dancing camcorder. You can do 4K and everything, but the only problem is I'm not sure how waterproof it is, so we're only going to get it out when we can today. I think we're going to just rely on the phone. It's got some interesting things, so I'll have to show you one day. It's got a gimbal built inside the main body. It's also got night vision, film 4K. It's got intelligent image stabilization. It's got the works, but I want to get a couple other bits for it. Probably worthwhile to get external microphone and things like that. Anyway, as I say, we're going to keep with the phone for the moment. I mean, the mist is dropping down massively, so I'm not sure how much we're going to see. My plan is to hopefully see some deers, and if we can't see them, then we're going to look for the stone circles where remnants of the Bronze Age. Anyway, let's go up on the top of the moor. It's looking more like Bleak Light. As I mentioned earlier, it is one of the most isolated moors in the Peak District. So this is basically Big Moor. Not sure how big it is in acreage. It is a vast plain. We're going to basically walk around really its perimeter today. So we're now on to White Edge. So we're going to continue along here. We'll hit up onto a trig point in a bit. We'll hit onto the point where I was my plan to wild camp last night. And then we'll head down to an old Stone Age settlement. Anyway, let's keep going along the top. So, not sure what this is for. Rounded Heath, like a milestone. For this ride, ER on air, loud left. I'm not really sure what it's about. Companion stories. I think it's some sort of like poetry thing or something. Obviously it's not been left by the Bronze Age or the Stone Age. We'll keep going on the path. Nearly slipped then. You nearly got your trip in. My fall. They said, go to the Peak District. It's beautiful, they said. They said, go to the Peak District. The views are great, they said. I must have picked the wrong day. Well, I think we're passing our first cairn, just on the edge here. It's a small one there, but it does show that there are remnants of an age ago. I was actually reading earlier, this area is mainly for the Bronze Age, but a lot of them are stone structures that we're passing. Well, hopefully you can see this. We haven't got snow, and we are on White Edge. We have got sleet. I suppose it's the next best thing. Anyway, we should be getting up to the trig point very soon. And there was some rocks on our left hand side just before the trig point, and that's where I aim to do my wild camp. So I'm going to try and find that spot. So I think we will do this wild camp another day, probably in the warmer months. I think I might actually do this route again, warmer months as well, maybe do it in reverse order, and hopefully we'll be able to see all these red deers and wildlife. Yep, it's still miserable. There they fell. Yep, still miserable. But, just over there, just where I made it out, there's a trig point. Let's do the usual one. Touch the trig point. Well, it is very exposed out here, cold and wet. Although it's not as high as I was last year on top of Ingleborough. So this area here, or what we're approaching, is Swinestein. An old Bronze Age settlement was here, quite a large one. There is a stone circle somewhere around here. I'm not sure if we'll get to see it with the heather. Well, as you can see, the visibility is getting better. We're down to 20 metres, I think. The Swinestein is somewhere around here. I think some of these rocks here are part of it. I was expecting a little bit more than this, but we'll keep plodding around this little area, see if we can find it. So I believe down that way, maybe about 300 metres, there's a place called Barbrook. It's a water source. It starts up at Topley Moor, which is in that direction, about 4 miles away, and it heads all the way through, and it heads down to the River Derwent next to the Chatsworth Estate, which is in that direction. Now, the area that I'm walking here, we can just about make it out the top there. There's a marker. You'll see there's a path coming down this direction, and then there's another pillar here, an old stone pillar. It's a bit exposed by itself here. Now, it's either a boundary marker or a waymark post for travellers across the moorlands, or the third thing is it could be in reference to the Bronze Age, because this was a field system around this area. And also there was a Bronze Age settlement that was based around here. There's actually, just in front of me, looks like the possibility of an old cairn there, a barrow. Now I know there are dotted about the whole of this moorland different places of barrows and cairns, so this could be one of them. I have seen quite a lot of pathways that have been traced out by probably animals of this moorland, as I say, probably deers. Now I think I'm going to come out here in the summer and be able to see some more of these features of the old Bronze Age. I think we're going to head this direction now. I think the GPS on my map isn't very good, so I've had to resort to the compass. I have actually sort of really worked out where I am now. So I think it's about 100 metres that way. So this is still part of the field system, so we've seen another marker here. So I've actually worked it out, rather than actually back in the Bronze Age, rather than having actual wars, all they had was these stone markers. They were obviously worked out the field system of who owned which bit of land, I suppose. Well, I've worked out where I am exactly on the map, which is here. I do want to be the opposite side of this water source. I can't really tell how wide that is and how wet it is either side. But there's a path up there, and that's what I would like to get up to. Just not so sure how steep this is, and obviously the ground, as it is not going to give me any favours of what I'll put my foot on. We'll have a wander down and see if we can like get down there without breaking our neck, and then get back up the other side. Well, it wasn't as steep as I thought it was. I did have to do a bit of bum sliding down that little bit, but we're alright. I've got this a little bit left to do. You can see it's a bit wet. We'll find the best path to get back up on the top. I think we can do it this way. Hopefully we can try and do it without not falling. Right, take our time. Small steps wins the race. So we're just about at the bottom. Can I get down to the right to the bottom without falling? I think so. Now I've got to try and work out how I'm going to get across this brook. Just got to find the narrowest point. Well, success! We managed to cross the brook, although it was quite a raging brook. But nevertheless, we're going to head up. We're going to head up that way, and then hopefully we'll get back on the footpath. Now I believe there's a stone circle not far away from where we are. Although we've gone off piece a bit, could actually find one of the stone circles that we've been looking for today. Right, although we crossed the Barbrook, different spot to what we planned, it's the good part about open access land, you don't have to stick to the route. We're actually walking down an old pack horse route now, and this is actually the route I was intending to go, so cut a bit off, but we're back on track. So we're actually going to head off this way now. As you can see, there's a marker there. And then I think there's a stone circle just somewhere around, maybe that little bit of, well, it looks like rocks just there. So we're going to have a look at that. Oh, actually this is the stone circle. So there's usually a bigger stone, and well, that's been called the King's Stone in the past. I'm not sure if they're always called the King's Stone. You can actually see a stone circle here. So I can see the circle with all those stones. Now, it does look like that might be a burial barrow just up there. There's a lot more stones over there. We'll take a look at that as soon as we're in the same place. So this is called Barbrook 1. A huge Bronze Age settlement is on this moor, on the big moor. see this is quite distinctive. It does look like it's a barrow, which is a old burial chamber. Now some of them do have some sort of doorway because they do have chambers within sometimes. Doesn't look like this one is. Doesn't look that high. Anyway, we're going to head back this way, and then we're going to get back onto the pack horse route, and then we'll head up towards Barbrook 2 and Barbrook 3. Along the left at some point we'll come across Barbrook Reservoir. So just leaving the pack horse route again, I noticed, I've marked it on my map where Barbrook 2 is, which is directly in this direction, but as I came across this another barrow or cairn, not marked on the map, but you quite clearly see it is. We'll continue walking this way, hopefully try and get to Barbrook 2. Now, one of these looks spectacular as a stone circle. So it's heading this way, probably about 200 to 300 meters, I think, directly this line. I will mark it on the map where these three stone circles are, so you'll be able to, anybody want to find them for themselves. Just heading up on this big moor, possibly another little cairn. Again, not marked on the map, but there are loads of these locations dotted around this moorland. I think it's one of the biggest Bronze Age settlements in the UK. There has been excavations done in the 1960s and 70s, and since then, when there was a big fire over this area about 2-3 years ago during COVID, probably set alight deliberately, or somebody that couldn't listen to the rules about making a campfire in the middle of a dry peatland. When they did do the fire, it exposed loads of these locations, Stone Age settlement. Another little mound here. Still trying to find the Stone Age circle here, Barbrook 2. You can see another little mound just there as well. So they are dotted about this moorland, no end. And it's probably worthwhile to come out here again, probably a couple of times, to try and find more of these locations. Only problem is, it's starting to rain again. I'm wondering where that Barbrook 2 is. Not so easy to find this one. Probably in the middle of this heather. So I think we found it. I think this is the spectacular one. And it's off the beaten track. Well, saying that, there's a track here. Not the direction I came. But this is Barbrook 2. This is a proper stone circle, but I'm not sure if it was built as a ritual type place, or possibility it could have been the foundations to a big building, like a village hall type building. There's an entranceway here, and then some stones just in the centre there, and another stone to the left. So I think potentially it's the foundations for a building. So this is Barbrook 2. As I say, I'll mark it on the map so you can come in and have a look for yourself. So yeah, this is a quite good find to find. So this is Barbrook 2. So we'll head off, get back onto the pack horse route, try and find the Barbrook 3. So we're just approaching little Barbrook Reservoir. There's a bit of a cascading waterfall there, see if we can get a better look. As we're just past the smaller reservoir, we're still on the pack horse road. Now on our left hand side, there's an old bridge. It's actually a Victorian bridge. passing over another Victorian bridge. I'm sorry if you were expecting more. There has been some features along this route. It's not the wild camp I was looking forward to, but fortunately I'm also going out next week. But hopefully you've enjoyed it anyway. Still got about 5 or 6 kilometres to go. Still got another stone circle to see, and hopefully if the light stays with us we might even get up to Tottenham Moor. But with this mist and rain and everything else, that's going to reduce the light anyway. Well, anything between an hour and 2 hours I think of daylight, depending on the weather conditions and sunset. On our right hand side now there's loads of little cascading waterfalls as it follows down. So I've just realised what this is, and I've been this way a long time ago. So on our left hand side here, beyond this fence, is Barbrook Reservoir. Now I think it was built in 1886, and it was built to serve the valleys to our right, which are down there somewhere, heading down towards Chesterfield and Sheffield. So this whole area was a reservoir at one point. I think it was about 1970s. It became disused. I think it may be possibly due to the maintenance of being out in a hostile location like this. Since then it's become a nature reserve. Anyway, we're going to head past this. So this is Barbrook Reservoir. It was quite a large reservoir back in the day. I think actually the path we're actually walking on now is went straight through the reservoir. Actually, looking up on the left, there's more of a grander building, of a cottage, quite a large cottage. I can just start to make it out there. So you get a bit closer and see what that is. Now, talk about isolated cottage. As I said earlier, this moorland is meant to be one of the most isolated moorlands in the Peak District. I'm guessing it's off grid. So I don't think there's many services around here. I think about 300 or 400 metres onwards we should come to the third stone circle. You see how desolate the landscape is here. And I was thinking that it's like Bodmin Moor, Hound of the Baskervilles. As I mentioned earlier, there's a big black cat been sighted around this area in recent months or within the year. And this would be the perfect time for it to appear from the mist. Although I don't want it to be its dinner. So anyway, we're going to try and find this third stone circle. I'm not sure if it's going to be any better than this second one. But so it's Barbrook 3 we're looking for now. So our third stone circle, Barbrook 3, should be just right on my left. It's just off the path here on the left somewhere. I spy with my little eye. So if we're beginning with a stone circle. Is that it there? Might well be. Is that just a bit of heathland in a circular shape? Now there is like a mound, as like lower ground that's in a circular shape there, but I don't think that's a stone circle. Well, it seems I was right, but this is meant to be a stone circle here. Now there might be some stones under the heathland, but I can't see one stone, never mind a stone circle. There is a shape of a circle, like a divot in this area, but no, I can't see any stone circles. So unless just in the centre that's considered as a small stone circle. Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. I was glad that I actually went up and found the Barbrook 2, which was worthwhile finding. But as I said, there's other locations across this moor that haven't been found yet, and there's other ones that aren't really marked on the map. I think it's a point that nobody's actually explored the moor that much. It's open access land. It's quite an exposed area that there's plenty of places to see. And I think I would say it's probably probably about 3 miles square. Right, we've just reached the road. I think the plan was to go that way, alright, straight across the moor. But as I say, I'm going to try and pick up my tent from Hathersage. I've got about 2 hours. We're about 6 kilometres away. So I think to reduce that down a little bit, I'm going to take this path behind me here. It goes alongside the wall, and that'll take me towards Padley Gorge, and then cross over Padley Gorge, and then we'll head into Hathersage. That's Hathersage Booths. So we'll head that way. Now I'm not sure how much we're going to film now because it's getting a bit dark, but we shall carry on and see how we get on. Seems to have got dark very fast. Now we are as a National Trust wooden pole. You can't really see it from here. I'll shine my torch in that direction. There's a wooden pole there, and there's only one of 2 of these. In fact, there's the next wooden pole from here is on Stanage Edge. Anyway, we're walking this way. As you can see, it's got dark very fast. It's not actually sunset yet. It's about 3:45. So we've got to walk across the Longshore Estate now, and once we've done that, we'll head down towards Padley Gorge and across to Owler's Tor to Hathersage. I've got to try and get to the Hathersage before 5:30 when the Elk Kit store closes. So wish me luck. We're going to have to plod on a bit now, and obviously can't see much of this at the moment. If I see something special, then I'll let you know. A millstone by night on the Longshore Estate. By the looks of it, that looks like a runner stone. It's a top stone. Right, I think as we go down here, we might see a few more millstones. So we managed to see one deer at least. Now you see it. No, you don't. Now you see it. Raging water. Hurrah! We managed to get my tent back from Hathersage, from Elk Kit, and well, they've apologised. They didn't help me because it cost me a few bob staying in a hotel rather than on Gap, but we got it anyway. So on to the next adventure. So for this one, I want to say Merry Christmas. Sorry that it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, and I'm sure you didn't want it to end up like that either. But we got a walk in, saw a few sights. Weather was a bit miserable, but we got it done anyway. So bye-bye hikers.